Hello friends, welcome back to She's in Her Apron. I am so glad you're here today because we're gonna fill our freezers with some pizza kits. I'm making homemade pizza, but when I think about to make the pizza, I'm like, oh, that's exhausting. I actually got this inspiration from Carrie Truman, and she is the author of this cookbook, which I've shared before on social media, and I think here, her Seriously Good Freezer Meals Cookbook. Seriously good. Yeah, she ain't joking, friends. So we're going to fill our freezers with some pizza kits. They look like this. Take the time in one day to crank these out, and all you have to do is pull them out of your freezer and get them going. I'm gonna share all the steps with you. I'm like giddy about this. I don't have to pull out my mixer every time I wanna make pizza, and I think that's what makes me not wanna do homemade pizza as much, even though I absolutely love it. You can use store-bought, of course. I actually like the Great Value, the Walmart one, but I do love our Uncle Rudy's pizza sauce. It's one of my favorites. I'm using crushed tomatoes. So I put 8 cans of the crushed tomatoes in my pot, and then I am just finely chopping some onions. I'm 4 timesing this recipe, and the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of onions, so I'm gonna need a cup of these finely chopped onions. Gonna need about a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Normal recipe, you'll only need a 1/4 cup. But I think I remembered, I haven't made this in a while, but I think I remembered that even that was a lot. So I'm not even gonna do a whole cup. Okay, for a normal recipe, a 1/2 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. You're gonna need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're gonna need a teaspoon of each of basil, Italian seasoning, and then a teaspoon of parsley. Some fun ingredients we're gonna put in here is paprika, crushed red pepper flakes, and the one thing that really makes it so good besides the balsamic vinegar is anise seed. Even if you're not a big licorice person, which my family isn't, it makes this recipe. Now it says ground anise seed, but I don't know any ground. So I just kind of like grind it in my hand to like open it up. It says a teaspoon each, but I'm only gonna go with 2 teaspoons for this big batch, and then I taste as I go. So if I'm just doing one batch, I start with like a 1/2 and go, but this is fresh. I just bought this. My other anise was really old. So I'm gonna start with this, but I'm telling you guys, it makes the recipe. So I'm putting some red pepper flakes. I almost forgot the paprika. And then I'm going to mince up some garlic, get about 5 big cloves in here. Now that's for 1, and we're 4 timesing this. Okay, I transferred it to a new pot because it was just too full, and to simmer, it's gonna get bubbly and it would just make a big mess. It's going to simmer away, and then we'll take it off the heat and let it cool, obviously, before we put it in bags and get it in the freezer. Okay, I raided my fridge. I have basil and green peppers and onions and pepperoni and ham and mushrooms and pineapple. All yummy things to get going on this. I love using the big bags of mozzarella cheese from Costco. 2 come together like this, and it's just easier. You can shred, but I just find that it just holds up better in the freezer. I just pulled this bag out of the freezer. This one's already frozen. And so I could still use frozen cheese when I make these packets. All I have to do is just bang it out. Okay, I have 8 Ziploc bags here. So on each one, I'm just gonna put pizza kit and what kind of pizza it is with the directions just on this bag. And I'm also going to put today's date. All right, I just wrote here, pizza kit, and this is the veggie, 500 degrees, 8 to 10 minutes. Till bottom is crispy. That way if Derek pulls this out, he knows what the heck I'm talking about. Now you could save these bags, this outer bag, because it's just gonna have everything else in it in their own bags, so that way you don't have to keep wasting plastic bags. I'm also going to write on here, let rise in bag, in case Derek's making these and I'm gone. I'm trying to figure out how I could put this sauce in these baggies. I don't have enough little containers. I didn't want to go out and buy any. I have this funnel that I use when I can food, sauces and stuff, jellies. So I've got a sandwich baggie here. Just gonna put this funnel in like that. And I'm gonna put a cup of sauce in. This is still a little warm. I'm gonna let it cool, but I wanted to share this with you and just in case I kept going and I never showed you. I do that a lot. All right, so I'm going to put, and I'm gonna hold the baggie and pull up, and bam. So here is a bag of sauce. All right, I'm using my Bosch mixer, and I just put in 2 cups of warm water. Just rubbing some butter in my measuring cup here to help smooth out the honey. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of honey and a tablespoon of self-rising yeast. And I keep this yeast in my freezer. I buy it in a big block form. I'm gonna stir this for 30 seconds. I'm gonna let this sit here for about 10 minutes and it's gonna get all bubbly, and that's when you know that it's working. All right, we're gonna add 5 cups of flour, and then we're going to need a tablespoon of salt. Here is her secret to her pizza dough, which I'm so excited to try. She adds in garlic powder and onion powder. Are you kidding? I can't wait to try this. And it's not a lot, it's just 1/4 teaspoon of each. Okay, I'm gonna mix this on low until it's combined. Then I'm gonna move it higher and let it knead for 7 minutes. And then during the 7 minutes, she says like you can add 1/2 cup of flour, more if needed. She just wants the dough to come away from the sides of the bowl. Woohoo, there you have it. I added just a teeny bit more flour, not even 1/4 cup, and it was perfect. So now I'm gonna divide this up into 2 doughs. This is the first time I've made her dough. I'm going to double the next batch, but this will get us 2 12-inch pizzas. Okay, I'm just going to divide my dough into 2. Now let's get them in the bags before they start rising. Okay, I have a double batch in here, getting this mixed together. Thank goodness I have my Bosch because it can handle big dough mixes like this. Okay, I put a little bit of oil down. Now, I'm gonna split this bad boy into 4s. Okay, that's great. Now let's get them in the bags. Just take some olive oil and you wanna she says like 2 tablespoons. But I watched her do this on her Instagram if you follow her, and she just took the bottle and ran with it. I'm afraid to do that. She was so great with that. So you're gonna put 2 tablespoons of the olive oil each in these bags. Now these are separate from the ones we labeled because this is the bag that the dough is going to rise in. All right, I'm just gonna get this loaf right in here. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's just going to rise in the bag. And then, if you don't have these Ziploc bag holders, just put your bags in a bowl. If you are interested in these, I'll leave a link below. It's just gonna coat all in there. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna get the air out of here as much as we can. I've got dough all over my hands. Would you look at that? That's what aprons are for, right? There is my dough. Let's add them in here with the rest of our kit stuff. Would you look at that? There is 9 pizzas here. We have 3 veggie, and in a snack bag, I added the onions, peppers, and mushrooms. And then each bag has their sauce and their cheese. So I have, this whole section here is veggie. Then I have 2 pepperonis, so I've got a pepperoni packet here, and the sauce and the cheese. And then we go into Hawaiian. In a snack baggie, I put pineapple, and in a separate one, I put the ham, and then put them in this baggie. So I have 2 Hawaiians, 2 pepperonis, 3 veggie, and 2 cheese with basil. So they could be like a margarita pizza. All right, and they're ready for their kit. Now get your kids involved. This is fun. I know my kids are gonna be bummed that they're not doing this with me, especially Shaylee. Okay, so here's our pizza kit. This is veggie. So I'm gonna add my dough in here. So when it's time to make this and you are like, yep, I'm ready for my pizza, you'll take these 3 things out and just have them on your counter or put them in your fridge to thaw out. And then you'll take out this one and let it rise out on your counter, okay? And then you could keep these to keep reusing them if you want. We got our dough, our veggie packet, our sauce, and our cheese ready for the freezer. There you have it, a pizza kit. You can lay these flat in your freezer. That'll work just great. Let's say you like this idea, but you're not too sure about putting the packets with the cheese and the sauce. I mean, you could just put the cheese and the dough, or if you don't want to add all the other ingredients, make packets with just the dough. This is where it is more time consuming to do homemade pizza. So you can fill your freezer with just the dough. This will save you so much time. And then you can meal plan and go out and get the things that you want for your pizza. I am actually going to make a few more with just the dough. Also, this makes about a 12 to 14 inch pizza. You can make it bigger. All depends on how thick you want your crust. This crust with the pan that I use, it is thick, but it does get really crispy. So make sure your temperature is high on your oven. At the freezer, it is frozen. So what I'm gonna do is take the cheese, the sauce packet, and the basil, this is the cheese and basil packet, out, and then take out the bag where the dough is. Okay, so here's my dough. It's nice and frozen. I'm just gonna leave it out and it's going to thaw out and then it'll start rising. I'm gonna put these back in this bag and we'll just let them thaw out in the refrigerator until we're ready to use them. So it is 10:30 in the morning right now and I'll let you know the process in my home. Every home will be different. Lots of homes are, you know, the temperatures are different. So, but it is 10:30 in the morning right now. This is good and frozen and we'll see how long this process takes for me. Okay, it is now 12:30 in the afternoon and this is fully thawed and now it's just going to rise in this bag. All right, this is doubled. It looks good. Now time to prepare it. Okay, here is the dough ready to go. Now you can put this on parchment paper and cook it that way, but I love these like cast iron pizza pans, I guess, like a Dutch oven type thing. You don't need to roll it like a rolling pin. You just press it and move it. It's fantastic. All right, after you get it to where you want it, you can make your crusts pretty if you want. I am not even gonna worry about it on this one. Then you're gonna take your sauce, pour it on down. Now we're gonna put the cheese on. Right now it's 3:45 in the afternoon. I just let the dough do its thing while I did my thing. It's perfect. So even if you took this out in the morning and came home from work, it'll be ready for you. It'll be fine. So the only thing about freezing the basil is obviously it looks darker, but it's going to crisp up and be good in the oven. So it's not as pretty as fresh basil, but at least you got it. If you're menu planning ahead of time and you just want to freeze your dough and you go ahead and buy the fresh basil, then awesome. But I'd rather have some that looks dark green coming out of the freezer than none at all. All right, I'm gonna get this in the oven, 500 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. Look at that. It smells so good. That basil smells amazing. I hope this inspired you. If you do something like this, tell me what you do or what toppings do you love on your pizzas. Give us some ideas. There's like a million ways we can make pizza and they're all yummy. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button, join the family. We have a ton of fun around here. I'm always looking for new ways like this pizza kit to inspire me to make life easier because life is busy and fun and crazy. So I hope you stick around. Thank you so much for joining me and we'll see you soon.